Okay, let's discuss property disclosures and why they're important. First of all, if you are a seller, you want to disclose as much as possible. That document protects you. It asks you what's wrong with your house. How old is the roof? How old is the structure? Have you ever flooded? Have you ever had termites? Have you ever, are your ceilings messed up? Walls, windows, floors. Like, you have to put every deficiency you're aware of, you disclose it in this document. Why? Let me give you 2 reasons. Number 1, a while back I listed a home that my seller, when he was the buyer, before he had ever met me, when he purchased the home, he purchased it with termite damage. So in his disclosures, we disclose, yes, there have previously been termites. It is currently under termite contract, and there are no active termites in this home. My seller never repaired the damage because he spends half the year in Greece. He's not here. So we have the house listed. It goes under contract. The people are having their inspections. The inspector literally has like 45 minutes left. And if you know how long inspections take, we're like at the tail end. We're almost done. And so they come running to me and they were like, were you aware of the termites? Look what we found. And I was like, yeah, I was aware. And so were you, because you and your client signed that you read the disclosures that we posted for your information. Before you even offer on a home, you get to look at these things and say, do I really want to offer this much money knowing all of this information? And you said you read them. Did you not go over the disclosures with your client? And they said, well, no. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. They're in there. So my client did their job. He protected himself. Now, they were so irate, they ended the inspection. Even after the inspector was like, it's really not that big of a deal. Like, you're getting a good home. The inspector tried to save it for me and wanted to complete the inspection. I mean, it was just a funny situation. Anyway, so on the other end, when you are the purchaser, sometimes there's a list of reasons you don't have to disclose anything, right? So this family that we're in the middle of negotiating a contract with, it's a succession property. They're saying they don't know anything about the house. It was their parents' home. You know, they don't have to disclose anything because they don't know anything. Okay, so in negotiating this deal, background information, the home has been on the market for a year because it needs a ton of work. It is from 1977. It is ridiculously outdated. And you know when you go in a home and you're like, gross. That's the feeling you get when you walk into this. So they're not selling like, wow, this is amazing. Can't wait to live here. They are selling someone in their family, unfortunately, passed away. And they're not doing anything to, I mean, they didn't even clean it. It's gross. They're not doing anything to make it nicer, prettier, better, nothing. They just want to get rid of it. Fine and fair. Do whatever you want when you're the seller. It's your prerogative, right? So it was listed last year. It never sold. It expired. They have a new agent listing it now. My client noticed it about 30 days after the new agent had it listed. It has a new price, but no one has offered on this home. Why? Why is it sitting? Well, renovations are not fun. If you've ever lived through one, they're a headache, they're messy, they're aggravating, they're just not fun. Also, the majority of the population is not handy. So if you're not fixing this yourself, they're expensive. If you're a first-time home buyer, you probably don't have the money to put a down payment, taxes, titles, insurance, escrows, all of the things, money up front, plus handle a major renovation. And when I say major, like it needs a new kitchen, every wall needs to be painted. This is just what you see walking in, right? Okay, all of that to say, we had our inspections and the agent selling it said the inspection, we're like, this is their lowest price. I'm surprised they took your offer. We're not taking any money off. Don't ask for anything. Cool, dude. No problem. You have inspections when you're the buyer for your benefit, so you know what you're getting into. So you know when they don't disclose anything and you have a whoopsie surprise, you're like, oh God, okay. So my client budgeted $50,000 in renovations, new kitchen, new different things in the bathrooms, new light fixtures, paint, new carpet. The floors are disgusting in some of these bedrooms. So that was his budget, and he gave himself a $10,000 cushion for whatever I can't see, right? So inspections are for the things you cannot see. You can't see in the pipes. You can't see, normally people when they walk through a home don't mess with the AC and the heat to see if it works, etc., etc. So he has his inspections, the AC does not. So during inspections, we find the AC does not work. The pipes are cast iron, so there has heavy scaling in them, which isn't a huge issue. But if you were running the dishwasher, taking a shower, and the washing machine all at the same time, likely because of the slow drainage due to the scaling, you might have an issue where the water backs up because it can't handle that much water flowing through the pipes at one time. Not a huge issue. We didn't account for it, but it's in the budget because we budgeted that little cushion. What was the big surprise was the termite damage in the attic. It had a new roof in 2023, so we were like, great, no leaks, no anything. We don't need to do a new roof. That's a big expense. Perfect. The inspector almost came through the ceiling twice, which is very scary for many reasons. And so we documented it. We took videos. We have all this information where we told them, look, we realized, and with all due respect, we know what price point we were at. However, we did not account for such significant damage and such costly repairs. So due to the fact that it's been on the market for so long, you now have to disclose this information because now you're aware of it. All of these reasons, we feel that it would be fair. We have $45,000 in unexpected costs, which would be so rude to ask that off of an already low price, but it is still your prerogative. Do not let anyone bully you out of asking for what you want. All of these broken things, $45,000 in repairs. Why don't we just reduce the price by $25,000 and be fair about it, right? When you're dealing with properties that have emotional attachments, people get offended and their feelings get hurt, and it's understandable. And so our jobs as agents are to be as respectful and polite and professional as possible. That's our job. So with all due respect, these are the deficiencies that were unforeseen, that we did not budget for, even though we gave ourselves a cushion for the unforeseen things. This is where we are. This is what we feel is fair. These people told us, don't send videos. We're not interested. Your prerogative. But is it so much so your prerogative to be so tight on what you want that you're not reasonable with expectations? So all of that to say, if you want to sell a property, be reasonable or be realistic. If you know you've been trying to sell a property for a year and it has not moved, and you feel like all of these offers are so low, I am so insulted, someone, preferably your agent, should explain to you why the offers have been so low and the reality of the situation. Because people, the consumer, they are only going to offer what they feel is fair and what the house is worth. Market value is determined by what people pay for the house. So if they are not offering what you want, then that's not the market value. What you want isn't the market value. These are not fun when you're dealing with successions or anytime you're emotionally attached to something. So you then have to rely on your agent to market for you, to explain to you what the situation is and why it is the way it is. You know, that's our jobs as agents. It is our job to say, this is what we can do for you. If you want this price, let's be realistic about it. And how can we obtain that price? You're not going to obtain that price when you don't at least mop the floors or change out bad carpet or whatever. Whatever your situation is on your home. So when you are, the other thing is, when you're the agent that's representing the purchaser, your job is to let your purchaser not make bad decisions. That's your job. Do not get them into a situation that is financially not fair for them or could prove to cause problems later down the line, or their home's not going to appraise, or they're just going to be stuck in a bad situation. No sale is worth saving because there's money at the end of it. That's not why we're here. We're here to make sure our clients are protected. That goes back to the disclosures. Disclose everything so you're protected as the seller, and argue for what you want that is right, just, and fair when you are the buyer. Do not let people bully you into not asking for what is necessary and what is fair. At the end of the day, you have to live in whatever you purchase. You have to pay for it. It is your money. It is your money on the line. It is your time. It is your peace of mind and your patience. So don't be bullied because some people are mean, some agents are mean. Not all of us are. Some of us want what's best for our clients, right? And that means advocating for you on your behalf. One more time. Okay, so our job is to advocate for you on your behalf. Bottom line is, if everyone discloses all of the information, then the purchaser can make informed decisions. It saves time. It saves time during the inspection because we know what we want to look for. It saves money. It saves, you get the better negotiated price up front, and you don't have to waste time going back and forth with price and negotiations because everyone was very well informed, because everyone disclosed every single aspect of the home that they knew was either wrong, deficient, whatever, broken. It also protects the seller because when you disclose it, the buyer can't come back and sue you because they signed a document where they said they read and they acknowledge and they know that you told them this was wrong. So they can't come back later and say, well, they didn't tell me, I didn't know, I think they lied, I think they tried to cover it up, so now I want to sue them. It protects you. It saves you. Let your agents advocate for you. Let them negotiate for you. But at the end of the day, and the most important is, as agents, we need to be respectful of one another and professional, because I don't know who I'm working with in the future. And if I'm going to continue working with the same agents, I would like to keep a good rapport and a good relationship with them. That's important to me.